So today we're going to be multiplying rational expressions. In order to multiply rational expressions, you need to remember that, if necessary, factor the top and or the bottom, numerator or denominator. When you multiply fractions, you're just multiplying the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. You might want to cross-cancel some stuff out first. You might want to multiply everything together first and then cross-cancel. It's up to you. And always simplify whenever possible. So you're going to be finding each product, and you're going to assume that no denominator has a value of 0. What that means is that we don't have any restrictions to worry about, okay? So we're not worry about any restrictions like we did on the lesson from yesterday. This first one is an old problem. It's straight multiplication of monomials. There are no things to factor here. So this kind of just recaps of what we did, I guess, maybe a month or two ago, where if you multiply straight across the top, 6 times 4 is 24. The x values total out to be x cubed. The y's total out to be y squared. The z's total out to be squared. On the bottom, the numbers multiply to give you 15. The x totals out to squared. The y total out to just y. And the z's total out to cubes. Old stuff. Just simplify. 24 and 15 are both divisible by 3, so it becomes 8 over 5. There's more x's on top by 1. There's more y's on top by 1, and there was more z's on the bottom by 1. So your final answer is just this. Okay, this is an old problem. Where we're getting to is where you're going to have binomial and trinomial numerator and denominators, in which you need to factor and cross out common factors. So in number 2, the x plus 6 is a binomial. Nothing can be done to factor it. It should really be in a parentheses. The 2x squared is just a monomial. It can't do anything. The 8x to the 4th is a monomial. You can't do anything. But this bottom right denominator is a binomial that can be factored, and it's factorable by dots. So what happens is I'm going to rewrite everything that I'm not going to touch. In other words, this first fraction numerator stays as is, as does the denominator. The second fraction numerator stays as it is, but its denominator is dots, x plus 6, x minus 6. Well, I've got x plus 6 in a parenthesis on top and on bottom. These would simplify to a 1. I'm going to cross out those common factors. When I now combine these two fractions into 1, you get 8x to the 4th on the top, 2x squared outside this parenthesis, x minus 6. You're still not done because those two monomials can simplify even further. As it turns out, 8 and 2 simplify to a 4 over a 1, and there's more x's on top by 2. So the final answer would be 4x squared over x minus 6. Now you're finished. You cannot cancel the x squared on top with the x on the bottom, because on the bottom it's a part of a binomial. The x is a part of that package, where on the top it's part of a monomial. Let's take a look at the next one. In terms of things that are factorable, hopefully you realize that the top numerator, bottom denominator, top numerator are all factorable. So those you're going to factor. The top one is dots, x minus 3, x plus 3. The bottom is GCF, 3, x minus 3. The second top is also GCF, 6, x minus 2. And the bottom, which you could not factor, comes down as is, but it's also a binomial, should be in parentheses. As you start looking for common factors that cross out, things that cancel, it has to be on the top and on the bottom. So I can cross out this binomial for this binomial, and I can cross out this binomial for this binomial. What's left on the top is 6, x minus 2 over 3. But you've got two monomials that still can be canceled, where you've got these guys right here. 6 over 3 is just a 2. So your final answer becomes 2, x minus 2. And that's over a 1, but there's not necessary to put that. Let's try the next one. Everything looks like it's factorable. there's a couple of I, or there's 3 IMs and 1 dots. Again, factoring should be fast. So the top one becomes what adds to -1 and multiplies to -6 is x minus 3, x plus 2. On the bottom of it is dots, x minus 3, x plus 3. The top right fraction, what adds to 7 and multiplies to 12, is a plus 4 and an x plus 3. And the denominator, what adds to a 4 multiplies to a 4 would be an x plus 2 and another x plus 2. So do we have any common binomials top to bottom? And we do. X minus 3 over x minus 3, same fraction, cancels to a 1. X plus 3, x plus 3, different fractions. It's okay, it's top and bottom. And I can take out one of the x plus 2's for one of the x plus 2's. So what's left then in your final answer becomes this binomial, x plus 4, on top of this binomial, x plus 2. And again, you can't do anything else. You can't cancel the x's out because they're a part of a package. The binomials stay in parentheses and you can't mess with them. That should be it. Good luck on the homework.